All right, it's me, Daddy Chick on Twitter. My name's Alex. I got Garrett Burroughs right here. I don't really know what we're gonna call this. I guess we could just call it Vendetta mock draft. I mean, you know what? I feel like you might have two of the smartest people from the site, maybe the two of the dumbest people. I don't know. Either way,
This is either going to be a spot on mock draft or this is going to be a god awful mock draft. I'm very excited to find
bro.
out.
Like honestly, it's probably gonna be god awful, but it's you know what? We're here for the laughs. We're here for the and then like maybe a little bit of analysis, but like whatever, right?
But we're here to talk shit about each other's picks because what Alex and I are going to do here is we're going to run through each of our own mock drafts and kind of go through pick by pick and see where we're at.
Yeah. So I'm sure Garrett will shit talk a lot of mine. I just shit talk. Just I don't even know if I'm talking about if I'm right half the time. I'll just talk shit just to talk shit.
Just to
So
talk shit.
we're essentially so that's literally what's gonna be. Oh my god, I dropped my phone. That's literally what's gonna be like what's gonna be going on. So for the NFL mock draft, I'm trying to pick it up. I know. So let's get into it. Garrett, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I mean, I'll go first.
It doesn't
We'll
fucking
go.
matter though who
Yeah,
goes
it doesn't
first.
fucking matter. It really doesn't matter because the number one pick's been locked in since Trevor Lawrence was born, basically.
Yeah,
Like this kid was destined to be the number one pick in the draft, no matter who was there.
he's got to be like the best quarterback college prospect there is ever. Like, I mean, is
Probably
that
since Andrew Luck. It's Andrew Luck and John Elway and Trevor Lawrence. That's it.
yeah? Like,
Those are your three
there's no
guys. That's
doubting
it.
it.
That's the pinnacle.
Yeah. So I mean, Trevor Lawrence is in top notch like territory, and he's got Urban Meyer going to Jacksonville. So I mean, Trevor Lawrence number one pick. If you have it otherwise, shut the fuck up and just go the fuck away. Just you don't know anything what you're talking about. Okay. Now I can see there's gonna be two is gonna be a little bit interesting. So who do you have for two?
I feel like Zach Wilson to the Jets is almost a lock at this point. It seems like, especially after his pro day where he was throwing the ball over the yard, it seems like he's got the arm talent and he's got the moxie for New York as well. I feel like Zach Wilson to New York would be a really good fit to revitalize that fan base and that franchise. Hopefully, turn them around. Let's just hope that the Jets organization treats him better than they did Sam Darnold.
Now I'm gonna agree with you that two is Zach Wilson for me. But I have to ask, like, what the fuck? Like, I think Justin Fields might be better than that. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's questions about his character coming into play. There's all this like stuff. It's like, where is this all coming from? You know what I mean?
I don't know where the fall off really came from. I will admit that I towards the middle of the year started to fall off a little bit off of Justin Fields, but the way he performed in the college football playoff was out of this world.
Yeah.
And like I feel like he really got a lot of his stock back, but like you're seeing all these mocks that are coming out recently, and like especially our mock now, we both have Zach Wilson at two. It doesn't. I don't know where like Zach Wilson came from. Like Justin Fields has spent the entire season up here, and Zach Wilson was down here at BYU, and he was on a fucking skyrocket up to the top here. And I don't know where it
To
came from.
to be fair, I don't know if your mock is this way, but my mock is this way is what I think is gonna happen. A little bit of what I think should happen, right? Because I think Justin Fields might have more upside than Zach Wilson, but I'm not sure. Like I'm not exactly sure. Like I know Trevor Lawrence will probably be the best quarterback in this class, no doubt. Other than that, it's a toss up between the other four. We can always like debate and whatever, but I have no idea who the fuck is going to be the second best one out of that class.
Well, even coming out of high school, like Justin Fields was like right up there with Trevor Lawrence. Like it was a conversation between the two of them who was better. And then now that through their college days, Trevor Lawrence is kind of taking an edge. But let's not sleep on Justin Fields for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's having a. Hey, you good over there? Just chill out. We're talking fucking football over here. Maybe you
We're
can
talking
learn.
football over here.
Golly. All right. So let's number three. Before I want to go first on this one because this is where I'm like, okay, this is where I start to think what's going to happen and not necessarily what I think should happen. But this one, I think the 49ers, are going to take Mac Jones. I think there's too much flirtatious. You're in high school, right? And you got a girl and she's over there, like she talking to someone over there a little too much. They're being a little too friendly and it rubs you the wrong way. That's how I feel about this Mac Jones and like 49ers thing. Like it's a little too flirtatious for me not to see the signs.
where there's smoke, there's always fire, right? And I
Always.
feel like there's a lot of smoke towards Mac Jones at 3. And like I agree that like we just had the conversation of Justin Fields being the second best quarterback in the class potentially, and he's not even going to 3. Like I feel like Justin Fields in Kyle Shanahan's offense with all those weapons would be out of bounds, like out of this fucking world. And it's crazy that you and I both have Mac Jones going 3 because I agree with you. Like it's just it seems like there's been too much talk recently that they're going to go any other direction. Like when they made the trade up to number 3, you knew they were getting a quarterback. Jimmy G's gonna go. Like I don't see Jimmy G staying this season. I know that John Lynch has come out and said like, hey, he's our guy. He's gonna mentor quarterbacks.
Josh Rosen.
Whatever.
Josh Rosen.
That's bullshit. That ain't nothing but a bunch of shit. That's just smoke and fire, dude. Like that's nothing. I feel like Mac Jones is the pick here, and they're gonna try and put Mac Jones in day 1, and I feel like that's gonna be a mistake. He's arguably the 5th best quarterback in this class.
And that's not
And
that's
San
not such a
Francisco's
bold
take
take.
him at 3. They're going to take him at 3, and he's just not going to be ready. And I don't feel like the immediate production is going to be there because let's not forget that we're a couple years removed from San Francisco being a title contender. Basically, they were ravaged with injuries, and they still had last year. Their record was awful, right? Their offense wasn't great, but they still led like a top 5 defense with all the injuries they had, and that was in part to Robert Saleh, who's now in New York, who's going to do great things with Zach Wilson and that team, hopefully. But let's not sleep on the fact that San Francisco has a ton of talent.
Yeah, no, I think those shortcomings that Mac Jones, that I also agree with you on that. The shortcomings that he's gonna have is gonna be masked just how good the 49ers are as a team. They're a stupendous team. They have plenty of talent all around. I think they'll be fine. And that's why like Mac Jones might not be criticized as much as we probably think right now, just because you know what, they're like, it's okay. You know what? The team has plenty of talent. He'll be fine. Like, but coming down the road, that they start to lose talent, contracts, all that shit. I think we're gonna see some real shortcomings, but we'll see. We'll see from that. Now, 4 is where it's gonna get interesting. I feel like. I think like 4, I think the top 3 are kind of set. I don't think there's really any debate. I mean, we're gonna have to wait 30 minutes on draft night for them to announce those fucking picks, because you just never just put your pick in there right away. You always listen to calls.
They want to build suspense. It's for the ratings.
Right. So we gotta wait fucking 30 minutes for the first 3 picks. Now the Falcons. The Falcons is where it's gonna get interesting. So I gotta ask, who do you gotta for the Falcons?
You had mentioned going into
No, don't mention my are you gonna mention my pick? Are you gonna mention my pick? Don't do that. Don't do it.
No, I don't know who you're picking it for.
Oh, okay.
No, what I was going to say is, what you mentioned, I think it was either the second pick or the third pick, that you kind of did this as what you think will happen versus what you think they should do.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like a mixture blending those. It's like a mixture.
This pick for me is what the Falcons should do versus what I think they're going to do. I think what they're going to do is they restructured, re-signed Matt Ryan in the offseason. They're showing that they think they can win now, especially with the new head coach Arthur Smith coming in. They feel like they can get back to where they were before. I think they would go Kyle Pitts here. Kyle Pitts in that offense would be fucking incredible. I have Justin Fields going 4. I feel like this is the time to take your quarterback, because when is Atlanta going to pick this high again? And when are you going to have a generational talent fall to you at 4? Because this is what it is. Justin Fields is falling here to 4. He should be going 2nd overall. But when you have the opportunity to have Justin Fields fall to your lap at 4, you have to take it and rebuild that team. Like think past Matt Ryan, because they can get rid of Matt Ryan's contract at the end of next season. Then you have Justin Fields sit behind Matt Ryan for a year, who has won an MVP and who's been to a Super Bowl, who's an MVP. I think I just said that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're emphasizing the point. It's emphasizing.
They give Justin Fields a year to sit behind a perennial Hall of Fame quarterback. So I feel like that's what they should do. But I feel like the pick in real life will probably be Kyle Pitts potentially, or they trade out of the pick. But we're not doing, as a disclaimer, we're not doing trades in this mock draft.
Yeah. So okay, I think they should trade down, but if they're not going to, this is where I differ from you. I think Kyle Pitts is the move. I understand Justin Fields. Like I understand that. Generational quarterback, but like, and I'm not saying Matt Ryan's a generation, but Matt Ryan's he's a good quarterback for me. He's top 15 in the NFL. He's not that old. How old is he? Do you have that?
He's mid 30s, I think, right?
He's not that old. I think he's like early 30s. I believe. So I mean, like, to say like I don't know. It seems like we're treating Matt Ryan like he's 38. He can't play. Like, I mean, I get that in a way. Like Matt Ryan's not. I wouldn't say Matt Ryan's like, oh my god, he's a game changer. No, but you know what? He could sit. There's so many other problems with the Falcons that I feel like drafting quarterback's not going to do that. But what you could do is draft Kyle Pitts and have Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones. And Julio Jones is not even the number one anymore. Calvin Ridley is. And like
which is insane to me.
Yeah, and that fucking team, I mean, they could score 30, 40 points a game. And and you know what? Matt Ryan will throw 40 times a game. That's fine. I'm not saying I'm drafting Matt Ryan as my goddamn fantasy quarterback, but that's what I'm fucking doing if they draft Kyle Pitts. So, I mean, like, I get it, but you're also never going to get – people have said Kyle Pitts is going to be, like, the best tight end ever. He might be ever, right? He's got the – I mean, so they're going to be quarterbacks, but are we going to say Justin Fields is the best quarterback ever? I understand quarterback's different from tight end, but still, you have a chance to have a really superpower offense, even though the next year's draft is not very quarterback heavy. There'll be time. Matt Ryan's still not that old to where he can't, like, at least sustain the team for a couple years until they get that fucking quarterback that they want. And I understand, like you were saying, they might not draft that high ever again. We'll fucking find out.
I mean, and you can always find gyms like, later in the first round, like Tom was 199 or whatever. Like, you don't have to get a quarterback at the top of a draft class. I understand that, but at the same time, like, you have like a guarantee shot here to get a perennial Pro Bowler, all pro kind of quarterback. This is also an interesting spot for offensive line as well. I feel like Penei Sewell would be an interesting fit here. The offensive line in Atlanta is getting a little bit older. You can kind of move him to either tackle position and give, like, if you really want to commit to Matt Ryan in this offense, just shore up one of those tackle positions. But I don't hate that pick though. I could definitely see that pick happening 100%.
I think it's one of those three guys for sure. I think it's Justin Fields. I can't say Sewell's name correctly. I'm not gonna try to fucking pronounce his first name. You know how I am about fucking names. I'm the worst at them. And then Kyle Pitts. I think it's one of those three, no doubt. Now, I see a lot of debate for the Bengals pick. I don't think it's much of a debate for me. But I got who do you have at 5?
So I have thought this for a while now that Penei Sewell is not the number one offensive lineman in the class. I think it's Rashawn Slater.
Wow.
And I think Rashawn Slater's one for me just because he can literally play all 5 positions on the line, whereas Penei Sewell has the flexibility to play like tackle positions, and he could probably move in if you gave him a year to learn guard and stuff like that. Whereas Rashawn Slater played basically all 5 positions in college. He matched up incredibly well against Chase Young at Northwestern. This is where this would be what I would do versus what I think is going to happen again. I would pay my pick for Cincinnati is offensive line, but it's Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with Sewell just because I think I don't know. I understand the versatility. I just think Sewell's just, you know what, when you put Sewell and Slater at tackle, even though like Sewell just only plays tackle, I think Sewell's just better at tackle. However, if you're looking, which there's no fucking question that the Bengals could use any fucking offensive lineman at this point.
Correct.
So I mean, like I see the attraction, the infatuation with Slater for the Bengals at that too. But I'm glad you went offensive line because I've seen fucking debate about Bengals choosing wide receiver, and I don't like Bengals wide receivers aren't like, oh my god, but they're not horrible.
Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins are no one to sleep on, but I will admit that I went back and forth on Jamar Chase because Jamar Chase, let's not forget that he took a year off and he's still the number 1 wide receiver in this class, and there's literally no debate. Like that's how much of a stud this kid is out of LSU, and we're forgetting almost that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase was together 2 years ago, and Jamar Chase put up 20 touchdowns.
Yeah.
In a season in college. Like that is astronomical. That's unheard of almost. So I was intrigued to pair those up again, but you have Joe Burrow who blew out his knee in his rookie year. Like you have to, because he gets hit so much, you have to protect your quarterback.
Yeah, I want you to hold on to Jamar Chase real quick. Because, I mean, like I see like, okay, let's get a wide receiver, like, because this is good. This is a really good wide receiver class as well. But like he's not gonna be able to throw to the fucking wide receivers. He has no time. If he's getting hit every play, he's not gonna be able to
Yep.
throw. So you gotta protect your quarterback, especially after a rookie season. He comes and blows his knee. No. So, all right.
Offensive line's definitely the pick here, and I don't think you can go wrong with either guy.
No. So next, now we're getting to Jamar Chase. I love Jamar Chase for the Dolphins. I fucking love it.
100%.
There's no there. I mean, like, and I get it. Like, everyone's fucking sold on Devontae Smith, but I think we forgot how good Jamar Chase is. Most.
Mm-hmm.
I think we forgot how good Jamar Chase is. Like, Jamar Chase is a fucking monster. He is disgusting. Okay, he is going to be disgusting in the NFL. So, Dolphins need a number one wide receiver. Jamar Chase is it. There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? There's a lot of criticisms about Tua right now after, kind of a shaky rookie season going back and forth with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I understand that. However, he ain't got no fucking weapons. He's still a rookie. He was only a rookie. He's still got time to progress. And having Jamar Chase and having them build that relationship, that could be very dangerous from time to come.
So I know that Miami signed Will Fuller in the offseason. Like, that gets you your deep threat, right? But Will Fuller has shown a tendency to not be the healthiest player in the league. Like, he has spent a lot of time in his career on the injury list. And like you said, Jamar Chase to Miami makes so much sense. You get to a true number one. You get someone who's going to come in and get you 80 plus catches his rookie year. Like, this kid can go win rookie of the year basically and turn to his career around. I also don't really understand the slander on Tua, I guess. Like, I don't want to say slander because that's not really the right word, but like, people almost have higher expectations than what he needs right now because he is a rookie. But like, people are like, oh, he was playing like dog shit, like da 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 da. Like, Miami should be out to draft a quarterback. Well, that's not the case.
He didn't play bad.
No, he didn't have a ton of help.
And he came off a hip injury. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, so, like, let's relax. Like, remember, people after Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had one good year. Everyone was going fucking crazy. Now they're seeing a little inconsistency, seeing that he can't always throw the ball that well. You know what? There's an argument that, he doesn't have the wide receivers for it. I get it. But at the same time, you can see where, like, he makes up a lot. He masks a lot of his throwing inconsistencies with his legs, which is fine. But
Correct.
Let's fucking slower roll here, right? I think you need a good 2 seasons
to really observe a rookie quarterback for sure.
That's 20-30 games at least, and that's if you like are not starting every game. So I think Tua has a lot to prove though this year. Not that he has a lot to prove, but a lot to prove to the haters
the expectations he has on him are now like not really worthy, but like they're more justified than before because they got a good defense. Their O-line's good. Like, he got him some weapons. Like, Brian Flores, he showed us last year that he can fucking coach. Like, Brian Flores is a hell of a coach.
No, I could tell.
And now it's kind of on.
No. 2 years ago, man, that team was dog shit. And he was willing that team to win. So I was like, man, that guy is good. Brian Flores, what a hell of a coach. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he's out there right now, he deserves his fucking ribbon. Give him his fucking stripes.
A little pat on the back, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, now we have the Lions. So before we get to the Lions pick, let's talk about the Lions a little bit. Of course, they made the Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff trade. So Jared Goff is now with the Lions. I have to keep reminding myself that because I kind of associate Jared Goff with the Rams and Matthew Stafford with the Lions. Matthew Stafford with the Lions is a fucking staple. They traded him. Kenny Galladay, where did he go?
He's gone to the Giants.
Thank you. He went to the Giants. Wow, what a good pickup by them. I totally forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So with Kenny Galladay going to the Giants, for me, I think the Lions picked Devontae Smith here. That's just me. It could be any wide receiver, but I think they picked Devontae Smith. That's just me.
So it's no secret that Detroit just needs talent. Right.
Anyway.
Like that team's just not great. Like, I'm sorry to any Lions fans out there, but your team kind of sucks. And like, your team got worse with picking up Jared Goff and moving off Matthew Stafford. Like, Jared Goff is not going to perform well in this coaching system. I do like the coach they picked up. I think that the future is turning the right direction. You just need the help. I do think wide receiver is the answer here. I do think it's an Alabama wide receiver that the answer is here. But I'm going with Jalen Waddle just because
I was back and forth. I had no idea which one to pick.
Because he's got the speed. Like Jalen Waddle is a burner. And I think that, Jared Goff can let it sling a little bit. And if you're not gonna have a ton of time to throw, like he may not in Detroit, you got to have someone who's going to get the field really quickly, and I think Waddle fills that need.
Yeah. So I was back and forth. It was one of those two. It had to be one of those two. So
I think wide receiver is definitely the way to go here. And again, you can't go wrong with either Alabama option, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. So originally with the Panthers, I had Kyle Pitts dropping and I had Kyle Pitts dropping to 8th, right? But you know what? There's a lot of hype around him. And then I don't know why I never clicked, but like Falcons never had, and this is for me, they never had the tight end. They have Hayden Hurst. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me get fucking excited right there. Let me go just fucking come everywhere over fucking Hayden Hurst. Don't make me laugh. You have Kyle Pitts there. I was like, I'm going with Kyle Pitts. Now you went with did you go with Kyle Pitts or you went with Justin Fields?
I went Justin Fields.
You went Justin Fields. Okay. So now here is where I would have made Slater. I picked Slater here. I chose Slater for the Panthers. Poor Sam Darnold. Don't want him to have any PTSD from, not having anything in the Jets. Get him at least one lineman. Put him everywhere. Put him anywhere you need. You kind of mentioned his versatility. Put him where you need him, and you know what? Let him just do work there. And so I think that's going to be the move for Sam Darnold. I really love the Panthers offense right now. I think they upgraded with Sam Darnold over Teddy Bridgewater. He's still got CMC, who was gone or he was out last year and that pissed me off because I picked him first in fantasy last year. Oh, I was pissed. I think they still have what's his name? DJ. Is it DJ?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. I think Curtis Samuel moved on.
Curtis Samuel still.
Was it Robbie Anderson that moved on?
No, Robbie Anderson's back in Carolina.
Someone moved on. Curtis Samuel, someone moved on.
Look at us being prepared.
I know, right? Like I'm just like I said, I'm pulling stuff out my ass. That's how I usually do. I look at it like,
you guys want.
Yeah. So the content you want. Yeah, we were just like, 15 minutes ago, we were like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just whatever, right? So but I'm gonna go with Slater. I love their offense. I think Matt Rule's he's a great coach too. Their defense is solid. I'm not saying this team's competing with the Buccaneers, but this Panthers team should not be slept on. They might get in as a wild card for me. So,
no.
I think I'm good with that. So, you had Slater going early, or are you sticking with Sewell? No, you went with Slater at 5.
I had Slater at 5 to Cincinnati, and if you guys had noticed, Kyle Pitts had been falling on my board a little bit, and the fall stops here. Kyle Pitts in this offense would be incredible. This would be your number one option basically for Sam Darnold, who is his first year in Carolina with Matt Rule in this new offense. That's your number one option. Like your quarterback tight end combo. Kyle Pitts is going to get 100 catches anywhere he goes basically, but Kyle Pitts would be offensive rookie of the year, maybe even offensive player of the year potentially in 1 year with Sam Darnold. Because Sam Darnold, we're not going to in this household. We don't appreciate slander of Sam Darnold.
No, we don't slander Sam Darnold. If you think Sam Darnold's garbage, don't fucking talk to me. Like that's how I know you're degenerate.
If you have an opinion on Sam Darnold and the opinion is he's trash, I understand that you are a casual NFL fan. Like you may not be an NFL guy. Like I understand it. Sam Darnold never got a fair shake in New York. He never had weapons. He never had an offensive line. He never had a head coach. Now he has an offensive line. He has weapons. He has a head coach. Sam Darnold should flourish here in Carolina.
Was that a quote from the great Dakota Haynes? Is that he's like not much?
The dearly departed. Yes.
The Dakota Haynes. Oh man, what a guy. Yeah. So
yeah, I have Kyle Pitts at 8 though.
That's where I had him like originally when I was like trying to go through, and I told you like a month ago I was like I have no idea who half of these fucking people are. So like I had to go back and research, but my top 8 I had Kyle Pitts going at 8. Number 9, the Broncos, and I know your mother is a dear Broncos fan, right?
Big old Broncos fan.
That's
Yep.
the only thing I don't like about your mother. Everything else, she's a wonderful woman. But that's just me being a Raiders fan, though. This I have to say, this is where I can't really deny. Then this is where I think is going to happen is John Elway loves quarterbacks. People talk about John Gruden loves quarterbacks. John Elway loves his quarterbacks as well, right? And if you haven't noticed, I haven't picked Justin Fields up yet. I think Justin Fields might drop to 9 and goes to the Broncos. And I was big on Drew Lock. You knew I was big on Drew Lock. I thought Drew Lock was a really good quarterback, and this year it's not that he doesn't have talent. It's up here. He doesn't have it up here right now. And it wouldn't surprise me if John Elway, being the quarterback guy he was, is just, pulls the trigger on Justin Fields. Now there's many ways they could go about this, but I'm thinking that's where he's going. I think Justin Fields goes 9 here. So let me hear what you think. Let me hear what you pick. Let me hear all about it.
So I in this range of maybe like 7 to 15 or so, I went back and forth on a lot of these picks. 1 or 2 of them were locks for me, but a couple of these I went back and forth on. I was torn on the Broncos pick for a while, and I was flip-flopping between Trey Lance and Patrick Surtain. And kind of like what you said, like John Elway is a big quarterback guy, and he will move off of a quarterback pretty quickly if he's not, playing up to Elway's standards. And I, like you, was big on Drew Lock, and I still think Drew Lock has potential. Like, I do too. I think that we're being maybe not too hard on Drew Lock because he's like a starting NFL quarterback. Like, he deserves the criticism and whatever. But we have to remember he's a young quarterback. He's still playing on a rookie deal. Like, he is still learning the offense and stuff like that. But I think the Broncos pulled the trigger on big quarterbacks from North Dakota State and Trey Lance. I think that he showed out in his pro day. He may not have played the best competition in college, but the same can be said about Zach Wilson. Like, it's all in the tape, basically. Trey Lance has all the intangibles that you want. He runs good. He throws good. He's big. He's got a big arm, which you need in Denver because it's going to be windy. It's going to be cold. Like, you need the arm to get the ball down the field. So the defense needs help, though. So I feel like the Broncos should definitely address the defense in the later stage of the draft. But I feel like you give Trey Lance and Drew Lock the ability in mini camps to just go head to see who wins the job.
Yeah, I think it's just too attractive for Elway not to pull the trigger.
Take some sort of quarterback, yes.
All right, so I've been going the first couple times here. Let me hear what you have for the Cowboys.
The Cowboys also kind of need a lot of help on defense. Like, the offense is very good. It has potential to be very good, at least. Like, hopefully, Dak gets back to 100%. Dak, plays up to his contract at least time this offseason. Hopefully he plays up to his potential, because we all know that I'm a big Dak guy. Some of us maybe not be a big Dak guy, but I'm a big Dak guy.
It's not that Dak is bad. I think he's overrated.
This is another topic for another time. I think they address the defense and they go get a true number 1 in Patrick Surtain. I think that he's the best corner in the draft. I think that they need a shutdown 1 to put up against, some of the receivers in the NFC, and I think Surtain fits the bill here.
I'm totally with you. I think Surtain is the pick here. How are we on top 10? We did our top 10. The only ones I guess we differed on was Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. That was for the Lions.
And then offensive line at 5, and then quarterbacks at 9.
So we're pretty much on the same page, and like we weren't even that far, like that much off.
We had the same idea. It's just different players.
So yeah, not too bad though for the top 10. I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, but 7, 8 through 15 is where it gets kind of gray. And,
kind of flip-flops a little bit.
I'm gonna let you go for 11 because I don't even know if I know what the fuck I'm talking about at 11. So for the Giants, so I don't know, and I'm kind of scared because we have a lot of Giants fans in our Slack chat, and I know they're gonna watch this. So I may say what I have to say. I don't know. Well, so who do you have?
So every year there's always 1 to 2 players that always drops in the first round. Right? Every year it's consistent. And if you guys have been paying attention, there is a big tackle from Oregon who's been falling in my draft. And not for any particular reason. I think there's just better players available that just fit better. And the Giants may need help somewhere else. I really wanted to peg Devontae Smith here because they did, but they did sign Kenny Golladay. That's fair, but
I think they're good with
outside of
there.
Kenny Golladay, there's not a ton of other talent there. Like it'd be very intriguing to add Devontae Smith to pair him with Kenny Golladay and Daniel Jones. But I think that you get Daniel Jones to protection here. I think the Giants almost go best player available, and they see Penei Sewell on the board and think there's no way we expect him to fall to us at 11.
Yeah.
So I have the Giants picking Penei Sewell here. The fall ends for Sewell. You shore up the left side of the line, and then you let Daniel Jones work with Kenny Golladay.
So, okay, how about this? Let me ask you a question. Who do you think is the best edge rusher in the draft right now?
This is kind of a weak class for edge rushers.
It is.
I think the best edge rusher in the draft is Kwity Paye out of Michigan. I have him maybe a little bit lower than some other people do, just because I do have a bit of a harsher opinion on the edge rushers in the class than maybe others do. It's just not the production just isn't really there. Exactly. It's just not a very attractive class for edge rushers. But Kwity Paye is probably the best edge rusher in the class.
Okay, so I'm gonna omit the name that I put, and I'm gonna put Kwity Paye here. I have him going. No. Bro, it's on my thing right here. That I swear to God, like I wouldn't swear to God, but
I want to know the name that you had before.
I will let you know when that time comes, because I'm pretty sure that name will come back. That name will come back up. So at a later time, but because I'm like, okay, you know what? I can see they're gonna build on this young defense. They're gonna build on their stout defense. You know what? And I'm gonna say they're gonna add an edge rusher here. Okay, I just didn't know which one to pick, so I picked that guy.
I have a feeling on who you picked, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm curious to see if he comes up later.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yes, we will. Just stay tuned.
Okay, so let's just keep it moving after that.
Just keep it moving.
Number 12. We'll go to 12. Eagles here. Is there any question they don't go with the position I'm thinking here, right?
They have to.
They have to go wide receiver here, right?
I feel like you and I are thinking the same thing. We're just flip-flopping school wide receivers here, right?
Yeah. So are you got Devontae Smith?
I have Devontae Smith and you have Jalen Waddle.
I got Jalen Waddle, right?
Yes. But they're taking one of the Alabama receivers.
Holy shit. But are they though? I mean, it's the Eagles. Howie Roseman.
They have to.
I mean, JJ whatever Whiteside.
Arcega-Whiteside?
Yeah,
oh my god.
I mean, Jalen Reagor, like, come on. And I'm a TCU guy. And I was like, no. Fair. And I'm like, no.
Especially, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Justin Jefferson on the board when they picked last year and they picked a different wide receiver?
I think he was. I don't know.
Someone in the comments when we post this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Justin Jefferson was there, and of course,
someone was on the board.
I mean, obviously, hindsight being 2020, we didn't know Justin Jefferson was a ball out like that. But
dude, okay, I don't know that much college though, right? Justin Jefferson scored 7 touchdowns in the goddamn national championship.
That's fair.
That was it for me. I was like, if you could score seven touchdowns in the biggest game of college football, fuck that. I'm drafting you at least over Jalen Reagor. Like, so, I mean.
That's fair.
I mean, I won't say he was probably better than, CD or Jerry Jeudy, because, I mean, but still, like, fuck. You have to mess it up pretty bad just to fucking do that. So, yes, I think the Eagles should go wide receiver. I think they should go with an Alabama wide receiver, whichever one's on the board.
Correct.
Literally, there's no way to mess this up. Hopefully.
No, there's not. Like the player and the talent is there, and how there's no way Howie Roseman can fuck this up.
Bro, everyone's like, pick this guy. Just pick him. He's wide receiver. This is the one we want.
One of the two.
Maybe he's just petty and just like, nah.
You know what? We're picking tackle. We're gonna pick
power hungry. Okay. I hate the Chargers.
I know.
So, obviously, who do you have for the Chargers at 13?
I think you have to protect Justin Herbert above all else. It was really interesting when I was doing this mock draft that with Penei Sewell falling, I was like, man, if Penei Sewell gets to 13, like that's the perfect pick. Like,
That's fucking disgusting.
Sewell and Herbert played together in college. Like, I know that it doesn't really matter like that much with like tackles and quarterbacks and stuff like that, but there's still a little bit of like
There's a
familiarity
relationship
and stuff like that. Correct, exactly.
there.
I think the pick here is Christian Darrisaw from
Oh,
Virginia
good.
Tech. I do think that they have to protect him. I was torn between him and Elijah Vera-Tucker just to protect Justin Herbert. Like, that's got to be priority number one because Justin Herbert's going to be a fucking monster in the league. He's going to be, and you got to protect him. And their offensive line took some hits this offseason, so that's the pick for me.
So I'm with you actually. I didn't know who Christian Darrisaw was. Not gonna lie to you. Like I said, not a big college guy. I've kind of slacked on my draft coverage a little bit this year. So Christian Darrisaw, I saw tackle. I saw team needs for Chargers tackle, and I was like, tackle, boom, done. Don't know who the fuck he is. I hope he's horrible for the Chargers.
But we're picking him.
I hope he's horrible for the Chargers. I hope Yannick beats him off the line every time. So.
Good old Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, Ngakoue.
Yeah,
okay. Number 14, we have Vikings on the board. Who are the Vikings going with?
The Vikings are thanking the Lord above that Elijah Vera-Tucker did not go ahead.
Dude, we're on it right now.
Because I have Elijah Vera-Tucker going to Minnesota. I don't think it'll be interesting to see how the Southern Cowboy fares in Minnesota with the cold weather and the snow and the wind, but I think he'll be just fine. The guard from USC played really well last year. I mean, you were protecting again. Was it JT Daniels, right? Like, I'm the SC guy, and like I wasn't even paying attention to this team last year because they were kind of dog shit. Like, they've been dog shit for a couple years now. That's a whole other topic for another time, though. I think that you've got to shore up the offensive line and give Kirk Cousins the best chance you can with Kirk Cousins' abilities. So
I feel like they're doing that enough. They got fucking Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. Okay, like, I mean, Adam Thielen's still there.
Adam Thielen too.
Yeah, Adam Thielen's still there. So it's like, okay, so he's got plenty of weapons. Fucking guy, Kirk Cousins. I'm with you though. We're on the same wavelength right now. I got AVT. That's my nickname for him because I don't like
you can't pronounce his name.
That too, but I don't like that people got long ass fucking thing. Like, let's just fucking hyphen. Like, let's just put this in an acronym and
call people by their initials.
AVT. Okay, we do it all the time.
AVT to 14. Got it.
So, 15. The Patriots. I fucking hate the Patriots. You know that as well.
Most people do.
I think you had all 5 quarterbacks going in the first 10, right? First 9, actually.
Yep.
I have the last of those 5 quarterbacks right here for the Patriots, Trey Lance. Unless you are comfortable with Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham, and I will stay Stidham until he is fucking something else. If he earns my respect, that I will call him Jarrett Stidham, but it's Stidham, okay? His name's got fucking ham in it, okay?
Fucking ham.
Sandwich. I'm going with Trey Lance here. Trey Lance is, I hate to say, I hope Trey Lance is horrible for the Patriots. I hope nothing but the worst for the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. However, for the spirit of the mock, I had him going to 15, and I think that's actually a solid fit for them. Patriots did have they spent a lot in free agency. Time will tell if it was actually
that's definitely true.
I didn't know how to phrase it, and I thought that would be the best way to phrase it because I'm not sure yet.
They spent a lot of money. Let's put it like that. Did they spend it properly? Maybe not. But you know what? The stimmy hit. They got their tax refund. They were fucking shopping.
They went to the Gucci store. Maybe not your best option. Maybe not your best option for everything because you have a lot of holes to fill. But they went to the Gucci store and got things. They got 2 tight ends. I'm proud of them for that. Don't know why. But anyway, so if they get Trey Lance, he actually has a chance to try to start. Might have a mentor in Cam Newton, might not. I think he's already.
I feel like if
Jarrett Stidham, but
right. I feel like if Trey Lance is there at 15. Like Bill Belichick's like licking his lips, and I feel like Trey Lance would almost start day one. I think,
I
but
feel like he has a chance
Cam Newton
to.
played like dog shit last year.
Oh yeah,
Let's call a spade a spade. Like Cam Newton just doesn't have it anymore.
yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah.
It for me, I have all the quarterbacks gone. I feel like the Patriots just kind of need help, kind of all over. Like the defense is a little overrated. The defense is getting a little bit older. I feel like you almost take best player available. And for me right now, they're going to go grab the second best corner in the class, and that is J.C. Horn, who is skyrocketing
Garrett,
up draft boards right
we're
now.
on it right now, dude. We're on the same fucking wavelength. I am so proud of myself right now. Okay.
J.C. Horn out of South Carolina is a ball hawk. He's going to go find the ball. He's going to play super aggressive. He's going to go cause turnovers one way or the other.
Right.
And I feel like that's something the Patriots kind of lacked over the last couple of years, is a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball who's going to go get the ball back for the offense. Now, the offense ain't going to do much with it, but J.C. Horn's going to go out there and get maybe 3-4 interceptions in his rookie year, which is going to be really fucking good. That's just the kind of player he is. But with him being so aggressive, he's going to get burned as well.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have Jamar Chase in the same division now with J.C. Horn, that's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. I just think that the Patriots, thinking for the future, go best player available here. And for me, there are a couple other intriguing options here for me. But I think that J.C. Horn is just flying up boards right now, and he's got the tape to prove that he deserves a top spot like this.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's exactly why I have him going to the Cardinals at 16. And that's
a perfect fit.
Yeah. So I mean that Cardinals team, like, I was a little underwhelmed this year. I thought they would have done a lot better and maybe competed a little bit more for the title. But I'm telling you that team is it's shaping up to be something scary. They got JJ Watt now, and that in itself, like, say what you want, JJ Watt is a presence on the field. So I have JC Horn going to the Cardinals. I think that's the fit for him. So
I meant to ask this question before we moved on to the Arizona pick. I'm going to ask you really quickly, just one short answer, then I'll get to my pick at 16. Do you think that fans' hatred of the Patriots will dissipate when Bill Belichick retires and there's no contingency of Belichick Brady with the Patriots organization anymore?
Fuck, I don't know.
Because I still hate the Patriots as well, even though Brady's gone, but like Belichick's still there. So like it's still like the little bit of PTSD that we have from like the Brady Belichick era. But I feel like when Belichick leaves, it's not going to be the same team. Like they're gonna turn over a lot of pieces. Kraft may be gone as well because he doesn't have his golden boys anymore. So I feel like the hate maybe dissipates a little bit. Like maybe not a ton, but I feel like fans will be more open and welcoming to Patriots fans.
It's gonna take a bit. So I think, from a respecting, I respect the hell out of Bill Belichick. I think he's one of the best coaches of all time, if not the greatest head coach of all time. Like he's top whatever for me. I've always hated Tom Brady. Tom Brady's gone, and I was like, maybe I'll hate the Patriots a little bit less. And I really kind of didn't. I was happy when they lost. So I don't know if that ever will. And it's just, how petty I am. So, I don't know if that was.
You do like to hold on to things. So. Shout out to Mark for being blocked for 6 months.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know if I'll ever let go of that hate, but you know what? That's the beauty in football, though, as rivals. And I mean, I might hate the Patriots forever. I really wouldn't give a shit. I was
just kind of curious your thought on that, because like I feel like most NFL fans still hate the Patriots just because of Brady and Belichick. And like half of that partnership's gone, and like maybe things will turn around like if Belichick leaves, but who knows. But to get back on track here, I was torn between two players here for the Cardinals. I was really intrigued by getting them a wide receiver, but looking at the wide receiver class outside of like these top three, like there's just not that intriguing of an option. Like a lot of us at the site. Not for this high in the first round. I do have like 3 other wide receivers going after this.
Oh, cool. I'm with it then.
But not at this position. I think they reach just a little bit, and they pick Greg Newsom, the corner out of Northwestern. And and I understand that, like, Caleb Farley coming into this offseason was rated as, like, basically as the number 1, number 2 cornerback, but these guys been showing out at their pro day, and the tape just looks really good on these guys. So I think that Greg Newsom fits the need with Patrick Peterson leaving this offseason. I think that they need a true number 1, and maybe Greg Newsom isn't that number 1 for the Cardinals, but he definitely adds a ton of depth and a very solid player for a defense that maybe doesn't need as much help as needed before with signing J.J. Watt and things like that. But I think that this helps shore up the defensive backs, because you got a ton of talented receivers in that division.
Yeah. So
I feel like you got to get some sort of corner to get some help back there.
Yeah, I'm with that. That sounds good to me. I have him coming up pretty soon here. So I don't think it's that much of a reach, but
Before I want to give my pick on the Raiders first, because I know you're going to take a big chunk of this time to go through all your thought process because you're the Raiders fan.
Not too much, but okay.
I want to give my pick first, and I really do feel like you and I have the same pick here.
I think there's no question who the pick should have been. So
because if y'all have been paying attention, Micah Parsons has fallen this far, and if you're a Raiders fan, that's your reaction if Micah Parsons is sitting there at 17. Micah Parsons coming into the year was a top 5 pick. Now you've got some of the off-season stuff, the off the field stuff that's off-season, and it doesn't look great, but like that's still kind of muddying the waters a little bit. But he ran fast at his pro day. He looked really good. If you look at the past 2 years, basically, like he is a stud. And Lord knows the Raiders need help on defense. You can't go wrong with any sort of defensive pick here. I was torn. I had a couple of guys in mind for the Raiders, but then I started filling out my mock and I saw Parsons falling, and I was just like, man, if he gets to 17, that's the pick for the Raiders, no doubt. And so Raiders fans, you're fucking welcome, because if Micah Parsons is there at 17, you're getting a generational talent.
Yeah, no, I am super excited about it. I was a little bit worried that you'd be really judgy towards me because
I love that pick.
Me being like the Raiders fan, like, man, maybe I'll just have the guy want to drop to 17 conveniently. Like, there is definitely a chance that Micah Parsons goes way before 17. Absolutely, there's a chance any of those teams could have picked him. That needs a linebacker need, but fuck yeah, I can't. Like, if he goes there, I'm ecstatic because
he's a day 1 starter.
Linebacker has been one of our problems for years. The offense looks real good. A little bit worried about the red zone scoring, but that's not really an offensive issue as far as talent. But defense, there's a whole bunch of fucking questions with talent.
Now, one thing to consider here as well for this pick is offensive line. But in my mock, at least, I didn't have a player I felt comfortable enough reaching up to take offensive line. I feel like the defense is really the issue here.
See, and I get it, and like we've had conversations in the Slack and about the offensive line. The offensive line's not horrible. It's not as good as it was last year.
They decided to go on a fire sale and get rid of all their offensive starters on
which
the line.
I didn't see that coming. I don't. I think we may have undersold a little bit, but like at that point, if players are saying they want out, they hold leverage. And that's why I've never been like, people are criticizing Rodney Hudson wanting out, and we only got a third for him. And I'm like, motherfucker just didn't want to play. Like, and I understand, Rodney Hudson.
Where did Rodney Hudson go?
Fuck if I know. He's not with my team no more. Fuck that guy. I don't know. He went somewhere. But we got a third for him. And so I was like, look, I know it's not pretty. I'm not happy about it. But you know what? Like, we got something out of it. So, I don't know. I could see the need for offensive line. It's just there's no one at that point.
When I was looking at my mock, there's a lot of depth for offensive line in the second and third round, where you can find a starting caliber lineman in the second and third round. So I figured I was on the same wavelength as you. Like, the defense is the priority, and you got a guy like Parsons there. He's the move 100%.
Well, Garrett, I don't know, man. Raiders fans are telling me Derek Carr's the issue. Okay, like, I mean, the defense gives out 30 points a game, but we're not scoring 35 points a game, and that is the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Not
Not giving up 30 points.
You got to outscore them.
You got to outscore them.
That's the
stonk. The numbers game here. Like motherfucker, like, can you get a fucking brain real quick? At least half a brain and look. But defense is the problem for me. Micah Parsons, oh my God, I am nutting. If like no one talk to me, I will be partying if the Raiders drive, like if they drafted Micah Parsons. Now, if they don't and he's available at 17, no one else talk to me. You might not see from me. You might not hear from me ever again. And don't ask why.
They don't take him instead.
Could you imagine? So, and then
the Raiders have been making some interesting picks on the defense side of the ball.
Look, I really don't want to talk about it because I already know Trey's gonna
Clellan Ferrell and
Trey already gives me enough shit about it. So, and I fear if this works out the way we're going that we think, and 17 is on the board, Micah Parsons there, and the Raiders don't draft him, I have to admit to Trey that okay, whatever, you might be right. Like, sorry. So like if I fucking need that to happen. Okay. So I got my Raiders piece in. I don't want to get my hopes up. So 18. Who do you have for the Dolphins?
The Dolphins already addressed their need earlier in the draft. They got a number 1 wide receiver. At this point, I think they address the defense and take best player available. I'm riding the wave on another guy who's flying up mock drafts in his way into the first round. I'm taking Jamin Davis, the linebacker from Kentucky. He's quick. He's got a lot of speed. He can cover both sides of the field. He can get wherever you want. It's just the tape. Like these guys are flying up out of nowhere, but the tape shows that they kind of deserve to be up there. Like their pro days, their draft stocks flying up because people are starting to look at these guys because they're testing well at their pro day. And they're like, holy shit, like where are these guys been in our mocks? So this guy was mocking a late second round talent basically, but he's flying a draft boards, and I think that you got to ride the momentum. And Miami's defense is good enough to where they could take a flyer on a kid like this. Like he may not pan out because he's flying up draft boards, and we know that some players who fly up draft boards don't always pan out. That they could fizzle out in like a year or two. But at this point, the defense is fine. Just take a flyer on him. He may turn out to be a stud. He may turn out to be just a starter. He may be okay. He may be average. But I think that his talent is better than maybe some other linebackers who are sitting there right now. So that's the pick for me. But who do you have?
I have I know how much people are against it, and that may or may not have been motivation for me to do this. But I took a running back in the first round, and it's Najee Harris. I mean, I think the Dolphins go splashy here. I think get that fucking weapon, get the fucking weapon in the first or the at 6. You get Jamar Chase there, 18. You're just like, fuck it. Why not?
Listen, if they take, I really like that pick actually. I really like that pick. It wasn't on my brain, but like that's not a bad pick because he's your day 1 starter, and then you really go to 2 and be like, listen, you have no excuses.
Yeah,
fucking perform, because if you have Jamar Chase, you have Will Fuller, you have Najee Harris, and a decent to average or maybe even above average offensive line and a hell of a coach in Brian Flores, there's no reason he doesn't perform.
To be fair, like Devontae Parker and Preston Williams aren't bad wide receivers either. If those are your third and fourth guys,
that's not bad.
No, fuck that, right? Of course, if people are talking about the offensive line, that's a little bit of concern, but you can't have it all. You can't. So you got to make a sacrifice here or there.
Although with your pick, they're kind of getting they're having their cake and eating it too, basically, because they're doubling up on the Alabama boys.
Yeah, I mean, Najee Harris. I mean, I saw it and I was like, I can't let him drop.
It's an interesting pick for sure.
So and I know people are against running backs in the first round, and I get that. I totally get it. Like but I don't at the same time because
I'm not against it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like. The Raiders took Josh Jacobs in the first round. He's
he
a good
fucking balled, dude. He's a good running back.
I mean, I think Najee Harris is a great running back too. And I think, the Dolphins, I don't think they can take the Bills, but damn it, they're gonna fucking try. And so I
Well,
think
and one thing to consider too is Najee Harris drastically improved his receiving abilities this year at Alabama.
yeah.
He turned into a reliable receiver out of the backfield. So like I feel like check downs is the way to go in Miami if you're still, waiting on Tua. That's the move. It's a perfect fit almost. Like I think it's a bit of a reach, but I don't hate the pick. It's very splashy, like
It's
you said.
definitely a reach, but I don't see. I mean, there's questions about, I don't know how to say it, the guy from Clemson, Travis, whatever.
Travis Etienne.
Yeah, ETN, sure, whatever that guy. Of course, they could get a running back later on that I really like. I like Trey Sermon a lot. Maybe second or
Javonte
third
Williams
round.
is a guy to take a look at in the second or third round as well. Like the back of North Carolina is
Yeah,
he's got a little bit of pep in his
both
step
both
for
of the
sure.
backs from North Carolina are not bad.
Hmm.
So I think, I don't know. I just don't think you could get those guys later on. But you know what? If Najee Harris, if they're as good as they're saying, like, why not double up on your offense? Offense was considered a a
A need
problem,
basically.
a problem. Fuck it. Why not just say, here we go. We got two of the best offensive players in this draft, and let's just roll with it and see how it
Hmm.
goes. So it is a reach, but I'm gonna make my bold prediction because it's not uncommon for running backs to go in the first round. 19. Who do you got for the Washington football team? Which it doesn't look like that's changing. It's just going to be the football team forever.
Yeah, they're just gonna be the fucking football team forever, which I can't stand. But I guess it was better than the alternative, so
I hate that.
it'd be like that, I suppose.
I hate that.
I think that a big need for Washington going into this offseason was the defense, and more necessarily like their linebacking core. And you're in a division where you have Saquon Barkley coming back, uh, you have Zeke in Dallas, right? Like in Philadelphia, who knows who they're going to put back at running back, but they're probably going to make something out of them, I suppose. You got to get faster at the linebacking core, and the guy who fits this role perfectly is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah,
Jock!
JOK from Notre Dame. Yeah, I think that he gets slide in there perfectly and chase these guys around the field. He's another guy who's got speed for days, and he can fly from one end of the field to the other. And I feel like he can get in there and mix it up with these running backs in the division. And they can try and hold these guys up a little bit.
Now, I'm torn because I did say I'm a TCU guy, right? But I'm also a Notre Dame guy. I root more heavily for Notre Dame. I don't trust shit from Notre Dame half the time, though. Unless it's a lineman, I do not trust.
That's fair.
Manti Te'o, for example, okay? Where's that guy at? How did he do? He didn't do shit, and he was like considered one of the best players. Like, so
he was fucked around and won a Heisman.
I mean, and with his invisible girlfriend too. Like, you know what I mean? Like with his girlfriend,
Poor guy.
like great supporter, man. So I'm a little weary of Notre Dame players that are not linemen, but I'm with you. I'm picking Jock here for Washington because I think a lot of the reasons you say he can get everywhere you need to be. He's got the speed, and with division like this, I mean, I think he needs to go here. I'm not saying he's going to pan out because I'm still wary about it. But I don't know a lot about him. I just know he comes from Notre Dame. Even though I watch Notre Dame, I'm just like, still. So I'm sticking with him, but I'm wary about it a lot just because I don't like Notre Dame players in the NFL.
They don't have the best tendency over the last couple of years producing first round talent if it's not an offensive lineman. But I think that on film he's got the speed where he would be just fine. He may not be a stud, but he's a day one starter and he can produce for sure, I think.
So I think 16 was it that you said Greg Newsom? Is that what you said for the Cardinals?
Correct. Greg Newsom went to the Cardinals, correct.
So this is where I have Greg Newsom. I have him in Chicago. I think I would love to go quarterback here because I hate Mitch Trubisky, who's now with Buffalo.
With the Red Rocket,
that guy. But Mitch Trubisky was like their savior. And so do they still have Nick Foles there? Who knows? Don't care, right?
Yes, they do.
I don't
they
care.
do.
And Andy Dalton. I'm sorry, Andy Dalton's there. Okay. I would love to go quarterback here, but there's no other quarterbacks
There's
to go
no quarterback
here.
there.
There's no quarterbacks to go here. So I'm gonna go with a cornerback. I mean, the best thing they could do is just try to keep their defense solid. So I'll go quarterback here, but the Bears are fucked. I don't really care what they do here. I don't care about the Bears. I laugh at everything.
I feel so bad for Allen Robinson, dude. Allen Robinson's a
Get
baller.
that man out.
He
Free him.
He
Free that guy,
needs
man.
a quarterback, man. Allen Robinson has the potential to be top 5, top 10 wide receiver in the league if he had a good quarterback throwing to him. He just never has.
He might
That
be
kid's
top
a
10.
stud.
I think he's top 10.
I think
off the dome, top 10.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
I think the loss of Kyle Fuller will prove to be more than maybe Chicago first realized. Kyle Fuller's now in Denver. That's kind of why I didn't go Patrick Surtain to Denver earlier, because I knew they picked up Kyle Fuller, who I think who could have 1 to 3 good years left. I feel like he maybe regressed a little in Chicago, but he's going to Vic Fangio, who's a proven defensive guy. He's reuniting with him, so I feel like that'll be good. I think that the quote unquote fall for Caleb Farley stops here. I think that he is a perfect fit in Chicago. He can take over that role of being a shutdown corner in a division, again, who's got stud wide receivers all over the pace. Devontae Parker, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. Like, these teams need corners who shut guys down. And I think Caleb Farley comes in and fills that role of a budding number 1 who can try and shut down these receivers in division.
I'm with it. Who do we got next? We got the Colts next. All right. Who do you have going for the Colts?
I went back and forth on this pick for a little while. This is kind of where it hung me up a little bit. In 3 picks, I was really hung up. We'll get there in a second, I suppose. I was kind of torn between they have a needed edge. They also have a need at the offensive line with Anthony Costanzo retiring, but they also need wide receivers as well. Like, where do you rank these guys up and stuff like that? We talked about it earlier where we neither one of us are really high on this edge rushing class this year. I think the first edge for me falls off the board here, and I think Kwity Paye goes to Indianapolis in my mock. It's weird because none of these edge rushers really produced, but Kwity Paye is twitchy. He's got a natural instinct to get to the football, and I think that if the defense in Indianapolis is cooking, like, they got a good defense. I think they're good. They can fuck around with this year.
They'll be able to cover for him. Yeah.
I think that if you give him a year or 2 to really learn how to play pro style defense and things like that, I think he'll be just fine. I was really tempted to take Rashad Bateman here, the wide receiver from Minnesota.
Hold on to that. So, but I see what you're saying too. I fiddled with wide receiver for a bit. However, I think, they did get Michael Pittman, which he's not bad. I think he actually progressed quite a bit at the end of the year. I think T.Y. is still there, right?
He re-signed on 1 year deal.
Even though T.Y. is not,
he's not the guy he once was, but he's a leader on the offense.
He can still produce. And so obviously Carson Wentz got traded to the Colts, and new beginnings. I think he gets a little bit of his confidence back, gets out of that toxicity in Philly. So it'll be interesting. I do have an edge rusher, but like I said before, I don't know these fucking names. So I have to ask you, after Kwity Paye, who is your next best edge rusher?
On my mock, my next edge rusher, I only have 2 edge rushers in the first round.
I think I had 3.
And my next edge rusher was Azeez Ojulari from Georgia.
Okay, that was the guy I had going super early to the Giants. Yeah, so that tells you how much I know.
Yikes, I had a feeling too.
that tells you how much I know about this fucking. And the edge rushers are just not pretty. Like, there's no Chase Youngs, there's no Myles Garrett. There's none of them shits. Okay, so I had Azeez going there. I guess I will put him here. Um, sure. Okay. And since there's only this guy and the other guy, Joseph Osai was my next one. Um,
Okay.
so it's one of those two for me. I was looking more at the positions, but um, I mean, later on in this mock in the first round, I do have another one, another edge coming off, and it's one of those guys. Actually, I have another one. I have four, five, no, four, just four. I had four.
Yikes.
I had four. So I'm gonna say I'll stick. I'll put Joseph Asai here. I'll put Joseph Asai here. Let's just put it in there. Joseph Asai seems like a cult name, doesn't it? No, no.
Kind of.
Okay.
The Osai kind of fits a little bit.
You see what I'm saying though?
Maybe.
Like, like people are probably looking at me like, what the fuck is he talking about? But like, there's names, okay? There's names
We're
that
with it. We're with it here.
It's not because
ESPN.
it's not because we've been friends for like God knows how long that, but never that.
Didn't matter.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go with Joseph Asai here. That's who I had originally here, so I'll stick with him. I know Aziz is probably a little too early at 11, but that's okay. Now we know for the Giants.
Maybe just a little.
I apologize. Like I said, not the best.
I would have loved it if you would have put Ojulari at 11 and the Giants fans in Slack would have went on your fucking head for that.
Oh, who?
If you would have put Aziz
Aziz?
Ojulari at 11.
Yeah, see, that's why I was like, maybe I should ask.
That'd have been so good.
Like,
man.
For the spirit of things, I try to keep most of it as surprise. Like, but when I got to there, I was like, I don't know how confident I feel about this edge rusher pick. So I'm gonna ask Garrett real quick. And even Quiddy Pay at 11, I guess, is a little bit questionable. So like I said, Anthony, fucking Alex, I'm sorry. Okay, other Giants fans, I may be forgetting. I'm sorry. Like, don't get mad. Okay, I don't care about y'all's team enough. Anthony, if you get mad, just know you owe me $50 for your fucking playoff pick, and you didn't get it, and I paid. Like, I need my money.
Oof.
I know, and every time like I say it, he just laughs. But I still kind of.
You're just like, nah, homie. I need my money.
I kind of I have a baby on the way. Like, I need my money. Like,
I need diaper money.
That'll buy me 4 boxes of diapers right there. That $50 right there. So. A little off track there. I'm sorry to Giants fans. I'm kind of not, but I kind of am. 22, we have Titans. I told you to hold off on Rashard Bateman because this is where I have him going. I think it's a compliment.
You and me both. You and me both have Bateman here.
The Titans lost Jonnu Smith. I love Jonnu. Jonnu was one of my favorite fantasy tight ends coming into the year. He was a top 5 fantasy tight end last year, I think. It was close. Anyway, other than that, they had Corey Davis as a wide receiver. Let's get some fucking receiving options in here, okay? Rashard Bateman, he's a little bit of a monster. I think he's the best one in the tier 2 wide receivers. I don't think he's a tier 1 wide receiver in this draft. I think he's a tier 2 wide receiver in this draft, but I think he's the best damn tier 2 wide receiver in this draft. He's on the outside looking in on that tier 1, but he is disgusting still. I'm going to go with Rashard Bateman, get A.J. Brown, a little bit of love, compliment, and I think that's a good dynamic duo right there.
I'm on the same wavelength with you. I have Bateman here as well. Tennessee needs help on offense because their defense is just fine. Their defense will be good for many years to come. You don't have to worry about filling holes on defense for a couple of years. You need to do what you can for the offensive side of the ball, and I think Bateman fits the bill here for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I'm with it. So, wow, not much to say about that. Oh, now we are back to the Jets. 23. Also send your condolences to your dad because it's kind of a bad time to be a Jets fan.
But you know what? That's one thing I admire about my father when it comes to sports because he's very good everywhere else. He's a Cardinals fan. He's a Alabama football fan. Like he knows winning, right? Except when it comes to football. But he is steadfast in his belief that he loves the New York Jets. So good on him.
Good. Krieger
round of applause for my father. Absolutely.
Krieger too, man. He's a Jets fan. I feel for that guy too. He's one of the Sam Darnold believers, and that made him a smart guy. And now he's gone. So,
sad.
Jets have to go best available here. So, who's the best available for you on your mock? or whoever you think they should go with at least.
I was torn between going Zaven Collins, the linebacker from Tulsa, or going with an offensive tackle.
I went with the tackle. I will tell you that.
With the tackle. They spent money on the offensive line last offseason, and there's depth, and the Jets have the picks where they can get players in the second round. So I went best available for defense, and I'm gonna pick them for Zaven Collins. He's a thumper. Like he finds a way to get the ball no matter what. He didn't run the fastest at his pro day. I think he ran like 4.6 or something like that for a linebacker. That's not terribly fast, but if you throw him in the middle of the field, that kind of masks it a little bit. If you teach him how to play middle instead of like outside linebacker, I think that can kind of mask those speed issues a little bit. And he can be a guy that can be an anchor of a defense potentially because he's such a high IQ player.
Yeah, I'm with that. I had the Jets going tackle here. It doesn't really fucking matter what Joe Douglas does. Like he's kind of fucked, so it doesn't matter. So people might like this pick, might not. I don't care. I saw tackle. I said I'm gonna just pick him. Samuel Cosme, I guess, from Texas. That's the tackle. That's the tackle I had going to him. I don't think it fucking matters. So he could be a bust. He could be the best player ever. It doesn't matter. That fucking Jets team is awful. So, I mean, you can get mad about the pick if you want. I don't give a shit because your team is fucking ass, and that's coming from a Raiders fan, so I can say that. So Steelers on the board next. You can go ahead and go. I want to hear what your thoughts. We might be on the same wavelength. We might not. It depends on how the news of some Steelers business happened. I'm not explaining this very well. Just talk. I'm just gonna let you talk.
That was fantastic.
Thank you. Would you believe that I'm a teacher? Would you believe that I'm a teacher?
You kind of speak for a living. It is incredible. So here's the thing. There's a couple of Steelers fans in the Slack, along with myself.
Are you going with that pick?
I'm in the minority of thinking that Najee Harris maybe should be the pick here, but Villanueva left in free agency, Pouncey retired, like some unexpected losses on the offensive side of the ball for sure. I literally did flop on this back and forth so much.
I'm pretty sure you flopped on it on the first 23, like the first 23 picks. You were still debating which one to go with.
I was at a dead stop on this pick for probably 10 minutes, and I was like, "What the fuck do they do? Right? What the fuck do they do?" And I settled on Tevin Jenkins, the tackle from Oklahoma State, just because here's what I would do personally. This is a dream scenario for me. You take a tackle here, right? I think Jenkins is the best available tackle. I'm not very big on Cosme. I'm not very big on anybody else. I'm fairly high on Tevin Jenkins. He's athletic. He's quick. He doesn't have the longest arms, so it kind of makes him more of a guard than a tackle, but he still moves his feet well, where he can play tackle still. In a perfect world, in the second round, the Steelers double up on offensive linemen. I would love to get Landon Dickerson. I would love to get Quinn Menhertz from Wisconsin Whitewater. Kid's a fucking stud. You go to Wisconsin Whitewater and you look like that, you're bound to be a fucking professional in this league. Like, you're going to be so good. So I wouldn't hate doubling up on offensive line in this draft with the first two picks just because the defense is very good. I don't have concerns about the defense. I was concerned about safety coming into the year. I'm not concerned about safety anymore. Safety is not a need with this team. Cornerback is a little bit of a need just because the core is getting a little bit older. But the offensive line just has so many holes right now. It's tempting to take Najee Harris here just because he's going to be a very good pro. I think this is I went need over want, basically. I want Najee Harris. The Steelers need offensive line help, and I picked Jenkins.
You mentioned Pouncey retiring. So, like I said, I do have Tevin Jenkins coming pretty soon here. So I actually don't hate that. I went with Creed Humphrey. I'm not sure how good of an offensive lineman he is, but I know Mike Pouncey retired. So that's who I just kind of went with. But I think offensive line, if Najee Harris is there at 24, I actually don't hate the pick either. But
listen, like James Conner just isn't it. Like, hell of a story, third round guy, came from Pittsburgh, beat cancer. That's all great, but you're not a very good pro.
yeah,
Like, I don't know that being a starting NFL running back's for you, but you're a hell of a story. You could be a coach somewhere. That's great, but you just weren't it in Pittsburgh. Like, a 1 or 2 good years, but this year the running game was non-existent, especially in the second half of the year.
and and maybe we're just too quick to put the blame on James Conner because the offense coordinator was not the best either. But
don't talk to me about that.
I mean, and maybe that's where they hold off if Najee Harris, like he went 18 in mine, but if he's still available there, I mean, they might pass on him just because, maybe did they get rid of the offense coordinator? Or is he still there?
I believe he is.
I think they fired him.
I think they fired him fairly shortly after the season ended.
Yeah, I think
when
Black Monday
they trounced by Cleveland.
I think Black Monday they did. So, I think good. So I think
Forehead doesn't need another fucking job in the NFL ever again.
He
should do? He should go be an offensive coordinator for Adam Gase. That's what he should do.
I think they would work stupendous with each other. I think they know
those two guys
exactly
don't
what
deserve
they're talking
fucking jobs in the NFL.
So, I just put Creed Humphrey here, but I don't hate. I mean, any offensive lineman, I feel like is a win for the Steelers here. So, now we are to the Jaguars' second first round pick at 25. Of course, they took Trevor Lawrence with the first pick. There's no doubt that is happening. So 25th, who do you got?
I have them getting some help on the defensive back side of the football. They're taking, in my mock, Trayvon Moehrig. I think it's how you say his last name.
All right.
The safety from TCU. I think he's the best safety in the class. They have a clear need. Like, it may be a bit of a reach. I could see Jacksonville trading up because they have some draft capital. I could see them trading down and taking more draft capital. But I think Moehrig here, and I apologize to this dude or any Jaguars fans about butchering his name, but I think he's the guy here, and he instantly becomes another day one starter for the Jaguars.
That's who I have. They need help in the secondary, so I feel like safety from TCU is probably the best defensive guy for them on the board for as far as cornerbacks go right now. So that's who I went with. Guy from TCU. I don't really have anything else about it. I think he pretty much hit everything. Now we go to the Browns. So we my edge conundrum. So we're gonna put we're gonna put Aziz here. I'm gonna put Aziz here because you know what? I don't fucking talk to me about it. I'm gonna haunt like this. This is gonna haunt me about edge fucking rushers. Okay, so I'm gonna put Aziz here. Don't fucking talk to me about it. Don't talk to me about 11. I'm probably going to make a mock draft post and I'm going to change my pick at 11, but this is on video and this is video evidence that this was a thing at one time, but it will never.
You believe Aziz Ojulari was the pick at 11.
Okay. Listen,
oh,
at least I'll eat my humble pie on that one.
Emma, so someone clip this and send it to Emma. This goes on the fucking TikTok. Someone clip it. Trey, if you want to post it, send it to Emma. This is on the TikTok.
We really just don't have to do that. Like, I'm already a dumbass as it is sometimes. We don't really need to just emphasize the dumbassery. The dumbassery here. So I'm gonna put Aziz at the Browns. I have to, I guess, change my picks. For God knows what. I'm gonna laugh if I'm right. Could you imagine if I was fucking right and they pick Aziz at 11? I'd talk so much shit. I would talk so much shit afterwards.
I have Aziz here as well. I think the Browns need help on the defensive line opposite Myles Garrett. If you can find someone to play opposite Myles Garrett who takes the attention away from him, he's not getting double teamed every game all game long. It's bound to help the defense. I mean, Ojulari isn't the guy who's going to come in and get you double-digit sacks right off the bat, but he's going to get pressures on the quarterback to where offensive coordinators have to adjust their plan to say, hey, this guy's coming. We still need to focus on Myles Garrett, though. So I think they need help here at edge. this is my last edge guy in the first round, though. Like there's not a ton of talent here. I think he's the guy.
More.
So
I have one more. So, 27. We got the Ravens. We are almost there. We're getting there. Who do you got for the Ravens here?
The Ravens. No, I'm so sorry. The Ravens need help in the receiving core. Like Hollywood Brown ain't it. Like that dude's a fucking scrub. I'm sorry. They signed Sammy Watkins on the back half of his career. That guy's kind of a scrub. Sammy Watkins believes Lamar Jackson's gonna be fucking incredible as long as his receivers get open. So like as long as you're open, Lamar Jackson's gonna hit you, and that's guaranteed coming from Sammy Watkins. I think
there's so many things I've already disagreed with, but okay.
You get Lamar Jackson some more help, and I think the pick here is Terrence Marshall. I went between him and another wide receiver who will be coming up shortly. I think that Marshall is a little more polished, maybe as a route runner, than the guy who I have coming up next. And he's proven that he can catch. He can make all the catches you need. I think that Baltimore needs a guy who can get open, because apparently that's the only way Lamar Jackson's going to hit you is if you got open receivers. That's the only way he's going to be good.
First off, I think Hollywood Brown's not the worst wide receiver. I wouldn't say he's like really good. I think he's decent. I think he's young still, and he's got Lamar Jackson throwing to him. Okay, let's. I mean, we're not high on Lamar Jackson. We can't just say that it's not all Hollywood's fault. Okay, to be fair, I think Hollywood.
No, I'm not saying it's all his fault.
You just call him a scrub.
But he is a scrub. He's not going to be a number one anywhere, right? He's not even probably a number two.
He's number one right now.
Well, it's because they have no fucking receiving core.
Okay, so he's a number one, or is he not?
He doesn't have the talent to be a number one.
There you go. You need to.
Thank you. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
27. I had them going with the guy that you said earlier, Tevin Jenkins. I have him picking a tackle. Might be for something, might not. If Lamar Jackson's just going to run anyway, then you have a tackle to block for a couple seconds. So,
true.
Either way, I didn't really like picking a wide receiver here. The wide receivers I had in the first half, that was it for me. I didn't want any more wide receivers. I didn't think any of them really deserve to go in the first round. I'm not saying that there won't be any more wide receivers, but for me, I didn't. That was it for me for wide receivers. Going to the Saints, you said you had another wide receiver coming up. Is that your pick here, or are we still waiting for that? We're still waiting. Okay.
We're still waiting.
All right. Well, who do you have for the Saints in at 28?
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I won't even begin to try to pronounce this guy's name, but he is the cornerback from Syracuse.
I don't even have him on here, so you're gonna have to try your best.
Ifeatu Melifonwu.
You know what? No, you know what? That guy, I know exactly who you're talking to. First of all, fuck his brother, okay? Because we got his brother in the second round a couple years ago. Obi Melifonwu, yeah. Okay? That guy. I know exactly who the fuck you're talking about. So I don't even know who the fuck that guy is, but fuck your brother. Your brother was a fucking scrub. It's partially our fault for picking him, but you know what? You're a fucking scrub. I'm pretty sure scrubbery runs in the fucking family. So you know what? Fuck that guy too. Okay, he doesn't deserve to be picked. Fuck that guy. I know exactly who you're talking about.
I think the Saints have a clear need at linebacker, but there just were no linebackers available in my mock. Like all the linebackers had gotten taken earlier. I think this could potentially be a trade down spot for the Saints if my mock kind of plays accordingly, but I think that they just need help in the secondary as well. Like they're not getting any younger back there, so you might as well get some help, and Melifonwu can learn for a year or two under some of the good guys they have on defense. So yeah, I mean, it's more of a future pick, not even a now pick, basically.
Fuck your brother. You kind of allude to it though. They do need help at linebacker, and I haven't chose Zaven Collins yet, so that's where Zaven Collins went for me. If he's there, it works out for me. So Zaven Collins there. they feel in that need for linebacker of the Saints. Fuck that guy from Syracuse and fuck your brother. I don't even know where your brother plays anymore. That shit really pisses me off, though. I saw your name and I knew exactly who you were. So just don't sleep tonight. So 29, the Packers. Is this where we're having our wide receiver? Okay. I figured. Okay. Continue.
We finally get A-Rod some first round help, and we get a stud out of the Big Ten in Rondale Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Rondale Moore. There are certain people on the site. Trey is a massive Rondale Moore guy.
Oh, is that the 5'7" guy?
Yes.
I don't hate that pick.
The only knock on him is his size, but if you put him in the slot, like that's fucking dangerous. Like if he's built to be a slot guy, and if you got A-Rod thrown to you, you're bound to have success in the league. I think that listen, they just need help on offense in the receiving core. They got to get A-Rod some help. Cornerback is intriguing because Kevin King shit the bed in the NFC Championship game, so like it's intriguing to get some defensive help in the secondary, but there just isn't a whole lot of people there right now at 29. And I think that for me, yes, which kind of hints something towards you potentially, but I'll let you go in a second. Yeah. I just think that they haven't picked a first round wide receiver in over a decade. I think
they should have last year. Jordan Love.
Yeah, Jordan Love's the future, man.
And I don't think you were here for this, but Andrew Zucker, yeah, Jordan Love he's fucking awful. I fucking told you so, okay? I'm glad you're not with the site anymore. You were a shitty-ass editor because you were an asshole.
Yikes.
Well, he was an asshole. He really was. He was a fucking asshole. Like, he felt like he was better than everybody else. And you know what? Obviously, he didn't know football. I'm glad he was an editor because, good Lord, he didn't know fucking football. He said Jordan Love was a great pick. Or he thought, I was like, that guy's fucking awful. Fucking awful. Anyway, were you done with that? I had to get my rant in there.
No, you do your thing.
I had to get my tangent in there. So I want to retract my statement because I said no wide receivers I felt like were first round material. I totally forgot about Rondale Moore. That's 5'7" guy. He's super fucking athletic. Of course, he's not size. He doesn't have the size, but for a slot, you don't need size.
He's perfect.
You don't need size. So I actually don't hate that pick for the Packers. However, I did have one corner dropping this low, and I felt like that was going to be the spot for him. So I agree with your pick, but I also have Caleb Farley still on the board this far, this late in the first round. So you kind of mentioned to earlier, he kind of shit the bed. Kevin King did. So they need secondary help. This is my pick for that. However, if they get either one, if they get Rondale Moore or this guy Farley, then you know what, they're popping champagne.
They're in good. They're in good position for sure.
I'm with that then. I'm with that 100%. 30. We are to the Bills. We got 3 more picks left. We are almost there. What you got?
Let's hear. I've been going first a lot lately. You're gonna finish out the first round with going first. Let's hear.
That just puts a lot of pressure on me. Okay. For the Bills, I think we have to talk about the edges again. I didn't pick an edge here, but I think it alludes to my point. Edges were not really big here, and even worse, edges were not. It was not a strong class for edges this year. And even worse was defensive tackles. However, I do think a defensive tackle does go in the first round, and it's
Christian Barmore.
It's Christian Barmore.
You and I are on the same page. I both got Barmore.
So I don't think this was not a strong defensive tackle class because I couldn't even tell you the second defensive tackle. So
Levi Ozariki it's some guy out of Washington, second best, but not a second round talent or not a first round talent. You're right.
I'll believe you. So Christian Barmore is pretty much the only one that kind of deserves to go in the first round, and if that, it needs to be in the later of the first round. Bills have a need for it. Why not just get the best one? I mean, you might be able to get some more next year, but why not just get the best one that fills your need? And you know what? He's going to be the only one worth taking at defensive tackle. So that's who I got there.
Don't hate that pick.
Okay, so we're good to go to the next one then.
We're good to go. Yep.
Let's go. 31. Fuck the Chiefs. I fucking hate the Buccaneers too. I hated actually the Super Bowl matchup because I hate Tom Brady. So obviously I have to hate the Buccaneers. I hate the Chiefs because they're in my division. So I'm kind of glad the Chiefs lost. Kind of hate that Tom Brady won another ring, even though it was kind of a gimme ring. I'm not going to go into it. You had this guy going a lot earlier than I did. It was the linebacker from Kentucky, Jamin. Is that how you say it? Jamin?
Jimmy.
Davis?
I called him. I think it's Jameen.
Jameen? Bro, dead ass. I'm looking at it with my fucking 4 eyes right now, and that says Jammin. Okay? That like
Jammin.
His nickname is Peanut Butter and Jammin Davis. Okay, like that's and I coined that phrase. Can we get that on a t-shirt, please? But I have that guy going here. Obviously, I've never really liked the Chiefs defense for a while now. They did have some good pieces, but I was never sold on the Chiefs defense. Obviously, I underestimated their offense enough to where it overcame for their defense to where they went to the Super Bowl back to back, didn't they? Yeah, back to back. So I underestimated their offense, and that's my fault. But I'm spot on about their defense. Their defense sucks. They need to get any defensive help they can, and so the linebacker from Kentucky is probably the way to go here for me.
As I was doing my mock, I was getting into the late 20s, and I was like, man, if Rondale Moore falls to 31, like I'm taking him to Kansas City. Like, just add even more speed. Add even more fucking speed.
Do you know how fucking pissed I would be? They have Tyreek Hill and Rondale Moore. I'd want to shoot myself.
I picked him at 29, so I had to readjust a little bit. And listen, like Eric Fisher gone, Mitchell Schwartz gone. Like I know that they brought Kyle Long out of retirement. They brought in
Kyle Long.
They brought in another stud lineman in free agency, but like I feel like an offensive line still a need here. So I'm gonna go Sam Cosmi from Texas. I think that he kind of falls a little bit, but not a ton. Like I think he's a first round talent, but he just doesn't have maybe the intangibles to secure a first round spot potentially. I think this is more of a need pick than like a want pick for Kansas City. It might be a bit of a reach, but I think he's the best tackle available on my board at least. And they could use the help. Even if he doesn't start right away, Chiefs fans shouldn't worry because they're probably going to be back in the AFC Championship at minimum next year anyway. So what does it matter? Give Cosmi 2 years to be a professional and learn under some great fucking offensive linemen, then you're good to go.
I don't hate that. Well, I do hate the Chiefs though, so I hope he doesn't work out.
That's different.
Yeah. The Bucs, last pick. So I have my edge rusher. Don't know if he deserves to go here.
Can I take a guess who it is?
It's probably the only name that's probably relevant after this point. So
is it Carlos Basham?
It's not actually.
Who is it?
Greg
Rousseau.
Yep.
Interesting.
Wait. Say his last name.
Rousseau.
Rousseau.
Yes.
You're telling me Rousseau? He could have spelled that with 4 letters, and he took fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 letters to do that shit. Rousseau, bro, I was gonna be some rotisserie in this bitch. Like that's where I was gonna go. Like that is way too many goddamn letters. Like Rousseau, and he's like, yeah, let's just make this as long as we fucking can. So that's who I have. The Buccaneers. Obviously Tom Brady needs more help. I mean, he had 3 of the best, probably top 10, top 15 wide receivers in the league. He had Gronk, he had OJ Howard, or was it Austin Hooper? No, OJ Howard. Whatever, don't care. He had, LaShawn McCoy, he had Leonard Fournette. His defense was super stacked because they obviously kept up and like stopped the Chiefs. Obviously, he needs more help. Obviously, most overrated quarterback in the fucking league. Don't talk to me. He's a system QB. I don't give a shit. Okay, he needs that much fucking help to win. And am I being petty and irrational? Maybe, but fuck that guy. But I got Gregory rotisserie in this bitch. What a
I
fucking
don't
joke. 8 letters.
I don't hate that pick. He I don't know. I just don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of stock in edge rushers.
I have learned so much from this episode, if we want to call it an episode, that I don't know shit about these edge rushers. So like obviously I'm gonna have to like lower my expectation of these edge rushers a little bit, especially 11. I might not
Azeez Ojulari at 11.
I might not be having an
Emma?
edge at 11, but you know what? Like it's you live and you learn. You live and you learn, and trial and error.
True.
So my bad once again.
It's true.
I know I'm gonna get flamed. I'm gonna get
know.
flamed. It's okay. I've accepted it. I
get it out of the way. We're good to go.
I'm good. I mean, my humble pie. Look, so there we go. That's it. That's it for me. Who do you have going?
I made a little sly hint earlier about when you said first round running backs, and you said that many people don't have first round running backs. So I was like, stay tuned. Well, here's your first round running back.
Ooh.
And I fucking hate it. I hate that they're gonna replace playoff Lenny with Najee Harris. But oh my god, is that a perfect fit? Najee Harris is a starting running back in the league next season after Lenny's gone, right? He's a receiving back. He can block in pass protection. He's a thumper. He may not have all the top end speed that you want, but he can move. Like, let's not. I know that who was it? Was it Todd McShay who said that he doesn't have top end speed, and Harris said to kiss his ass or whatever?
Yeah.
Like I don't know about all that. Like Najee Harris can move, and like that's a perfect fit for me. Like I was looking at some of the other players on the board, and they could have gone tackle, they could have gone defense. Like, but man, Najee Harris is just sitting there, primed and pretty to be a perfect Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and it's a perfect fit. Honestly, it's a perfect fit for me. I hate it. I really do. I hate it. I hate that pick.
I hate
but
that.
Man,
I hate that, and I hate that you put that in existence. Because if that happens, I might drive to Colorado and just have to hit you. So like
it's insane. It's a perfect fit.
So okay, a little recap here. I think we had all but two players that we agreed on that are getting picked in the first 32 picks. Mine was I think I said Creed Humphrey, and then Gregory Rotisserie. Who you had fucking fuck boy from Syracuse and his brother.
Correct.
Don't play like your brother. And then who was the other one that you said
that we were different on?
Yeah, I think it was like
big ones.
It was no, like players, just players. I think it was like a corner, safety, defensive back, maybe.
16 to Carolina. We had different corners there.
Who'd you have?
I had Greg Newsom.
That's who it is. No, I had Greg Newsom.
So hold on, whoa, wait a second. Do you not have J.C. Horn as a first round pick?
No, I do. He's going to the Cardinals for me.
Oh, that's right. So I will say,
I can't
looking at my draft board, the way the players are falling, I definitely see like 4 trades happening. Like, I think if Pitts falls past 4, someone's moving with Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati is like dead set on not moving, but I don't know if
for
a
the
team
right
like
price,
Carolina,
anybody will move. Yeah,
correct, exactly. I think that if Justin Fields falls to 4, a team like Denver can move up. I think Dallas moves up for Kyle Pitts. I think I think the Chargers move up for Penei Sewell. I think that let's see. I think someone moves up for Caleb Farley because he falls. I guarantee you someone moves up for Micah Parsons if he falls. Like the way my board is set up. I wish I would have done trades. I know you said you didn't really have any, but I would have loved to do trades in my mock just because like I'd be super curious to see like what teams move somewhere else because like I could definitely see at least like 4 first-round trades this year.
What you should do is you should write a post, include those traits in there, and be like, yeah, this is what happened. And then like imagine all that shit happening. It's like, yeah, I'm just a wizard. I'm just
I'm goaded. I'm goaded.
Naturally. Do you want to run through like auctioneer run through like just the names that are in order what you're going with, what they're going with, just as a little recap, and we'll probably just wrap that shit up.
Can I just say one thing and then I'll go into my little auctioneer thing? I'm gonna do it very quickly because you're gonna be very opinionated about it, so I need to move quickly.
Okay.
In this mock that I have pulled up on my computer, I'm on my phone for Zoom, by the way. I did 3 rounds. In my second round, I had the Raiders picking Kyle Trask. So we started with Trevor Lawrence. We went with Zach Wilson to the Jets, Mac Jones to San Francisco, Justin Fields goes to Atlanta. Rashawn Slater's number 1 tackle for me. He goes to Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, number 1 receiver, pulled off the board to Miami. Jalen Waddle helps out Jared Goff in Detroit. Kyle Pitts'
buffoonery
meteoric fall basically stops at 8 to Carolina. The Broncos get their future quarterback in Trey Lance. The Cowboys get their number 1 corner, Patrick Surtain. Penei Sewell falls to 11 to the Giants. Devontae Smith reunites with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia because they played together at Alabama. Christian Darrisaw shares with the offensive line in LA. Vera-Tucker gets used to the cold weather in Minnesota. J.C. Horn goes to a great organization, fortunately, in the Patriots. Greg Newsom is a bit of a reach for the Arizona Cardinals. Micah Parsons falls to the Raiders, showing up the defense. Peanut Butter and Jelly Jamin Davis goes to Miami at 18. JOK falls to the football team at 19. Caleb Farley falls to Chicago at 20. First edge rusher off the board at 21 in Indianapolis. Rashad Bateman at 22 to Tennessee Titans. Zaven Collins, best player available for the Jets at 23. I struggled to take Tevin Jenkins for the Steelers at 24. Pick Najee Harris. I'm going back to my pick. Trayvon Mulring goes to the Jaguars at 25, shoring up the defense. Azeez Ojulari does not go 11 to the Giants, goes 26 to Cleveland. Terrence Marshall gets open, so Lamar Jackson throws to him in Baltimore at 27. Whoever the fuck this guy is that Alex hates goes 28 to.
I don't hate him, but I'm probably gonna hate him.
The marshmallow guy goes.
Marshmallow.
Rondale Moore plays with the fucking greatest of all time in Aaron Rodgers. Christian Barmore shares of the defensive line at Buffalo. Sam Cosmi plays tackle in Kansas City, and the best running back goes in the first round and shores up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense or offense.
By the way, I hate your Kyle Trask take, but
I know, but listen, the way my board's set up, I was like, shit, let's just fucking send it. Why not?
It's not, but it's okay.
Listen, John Gruden's out at the end of the year anyway, so it's not a big deal.
I'll bet money on that.
That's my bold take for
I'll bet money on that.
NFL offseason.
I'll bet money on that.
Let's
do or die. Do or die. Do or die. He's gone at the end of the year. Do or die.
I think he's gone at the end of the year.
How much money do you want to put on that?
Listen. How would you go through your picks? We can talk about this on PlayStation. All right, let's wrap this video up.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars. Pretty self-explanatory. Zach Wilson to the Jets. For some reason, the Jets want him and not Justin Fields. Number 3, Mac Jones to the 49ers. 49ers don't want Justin Fields either. Don't ask me why. Number 4, Falcons make a questionable pick. Not questionable, though, for Kyle Pitts. It's just Kyle Pitts or a quarterback. Number 5, Joe Burrow needs some protection. He needs insurance. They're going to get Sewell there. Number 6, Jamar Chase. Dolphins get the best wide receiver off the board. Number 7, Lions get like the skinniest and tallest wide receiver off the board. I think he's the tallest. Number 8, I just drew a blank. Sorry, Rashawn Slater goes to the Panthers to help Sam Darnold and not have PTSD. Number 9, the Broncos get Justin Fields because John Elway loves his quarterbacks. Number 10, Patrick Surtain because they goddamn need help in the secondary for the Cowboys. Number 11, number 12, Jalen Waddle is going to the Eagles. Jalen Waddle's going to the Eagles. Hopefully the Eagles don't fuck up that pick. Number 13, Christian Darisaw goes to the Chargers, try to get Herbert some extra time in the pocket. AVT is going to the Minnesota Vikings because I'm not going to say his name. Trey Lance goes to the Patriots. Fuck that. I hate that. JC Horn's going to the Cardinals. Try to get a no-fly zone there. 17 goes to Micah Parsons with the Raiders. I love that fucking pick. 18, a little bit surprised. Najee Harris. Dolphins go get two of the best non-QB offensive players in the draft, and I love it. 19, the Washington football team, still a meme, gets Jock from Notre Dame. Number 20, Bears get Greg Newsom just because they lost Kyle Fuller. Kyle Fuller, yeah. 21, I don't know anything about edge rushers, but the Colts get Joseph Asai. We'll see how that works out for me. Probably not very well. Rashad Bateman goes to the Titans to help A.J. Brown facing half the defense all the time. 23, the Jets get whoever the fuck they get. They're going to get a tackle. It doesn't matter. They still fucking suck. I put Samuel Cosme here. 24, Steelers get an offensive lineman. I put Creed Humphrey. Doesn't really matter, though, which one they get. They're going to need offensive line help for whatever reason. Jaguars going to go safety here. Get the safety from TCU, Trayvon Mo Rig, I guess. Whatever, we'll go with that. Browns get edge rusher. I'm so tired of edge rushers. I don't give a fuck about edge rushers no more. Browns get an edge rusher here. Ravens could go wide receiver here. Side note, I know it's almost done, but Rondale Moore there might not be such a bad idea.
They already got small receivers. Hollywood Brown ain't big, and you need to get you got to get wide receiver, and you got to get someone with height.
So whatever. Anyway, Ravens go Tavion Jenkins here. Just
gotta get open.
Gotta get a tackle. Just gotta get open. That's it. Saints get Zaven Collins there. If he falls to 28, that is a fucking steal. The Packers get Caleb Farley at 29. 29, that's a good steal for them too. So I had a lot of good guys dropping down to them. 30, Bills get the best defensive tackle, best and only defensive tackle worth mentioning is Christian Barmore. Chiefs get Peanut Butter and Jam and Davis from Kentucky. And 32, the Bucs defense gets better with Gregory Rotisserie. So that would be it. Oh wait, did you liked me skipping over 11, right? That was
dude. Who are the Giants taking? I'm curious. Who do you have the Giants taking?
Somebody. They will pick somebody, or they might trade down. I don't know. We'll find out on draft night. So I hate all edge rushers now. I'm gonna have just because of this moment in this episode, I'm gonna have a sour spot for edge rushers because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when it came to edge rushers, and two, I'm gonna get clowned on for. And you know what? Those Giants fans are very. You
had Kwity Paye going 11. That's what it was.
Originally I had Aziz.
Yeah, originally you had Aziz Ojulari.
But I asked you who was the best edge, and you said Kwity Paye, and I was like, we'll go with Kwity Paye. I'll probably have to change that. I will probably have to change that. So obviously, very rough draft for me. This actually has helped me a lot to know what. Okay. So, but I wasn't too far off. I'm not the biggest draft guy, so I wasn't too far off from yours. There's obviously some head scratchers, which I warned you about that there were going to be some head scratchers, true. And there was some head scratchers. You did warn me. So, not too bad all in all. I think that's going to be our mock draft. I think the next mock draft I put is just going to be post. Garrett should do one and put some trades in there. That would be cool.
I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one on Wednesday. Stay tuned.
I like that. So I might wait another week and reevaluate my whole entire life in edge rushers before I make mine, but we'll see. Be on the lookout for that. There's already some mock drafts on our site too. Check those out. I don't think I have anything else. We do have some great draft coverage coming in from Trey. So I think he's one of the best draft scouts. Well, he's our draft scout, but he's really good. He hasn't really been wrong about too many things. So maybe about Mike Mayock, but I'm a little biased when it comes to that. So check out the site. Check out all the NFL draft stuff we have. Check out all the NFL stuff. It's great content, a little unfiltered, and that's what we love about the site. Debates going on all the time. Garrett, do you have anything else for the people?
Follow the socials at Vendetta Media,
Thank
at
you.
Daddy1Chick, at Notorious_GMB. Give us a follow. Follow us on Twitter. Sub to the YouTube. We're at like 250 subs right now. A lot of growth there right now. Trending the right direction. We're getting a lot of good content right now.
Shout out to
Guys, love it.
Jackson. Shout out to Jackson.
Shout out to Jackson, and shout out to Emma and the team at Vendetta for putting out TikToks. I'm telling you, Emma hopefully watches this, and when somebody sends this clip to Emma about Aziz Ojulari at 11,
Fuck off. Okay, fuck off. Okay, first of all, fuck off.
Follow the
okay?
TikTok. Put all the shit in there. Give us a follow.
Yes, please. We're on TikTok now. TikTok. Trey Roberts on TikTok. That's the site main, and then the
dancing queen himself.
That shit was awesome. Oh my god, I love Sophie just for that. I fucking worship her just for that. Her editing skills. And then did you saw the TikTok where I don't know what the fuck they were talking about, but it was Emma, Alex, and Trey. They were talking about hockey, right?
And then Emma goes, "At least I'm not a Rangers fan."
And then it's like, oh.
Are you ready for NHL stuff?
Please don't make me sound stupid, but yeah.
Yeah. First things first. So anytime, this is probably going to be an ongoing joke, but I can't really do the joke because the Avalanche and the Islanders are good. So I just need like one of them to suck so that I can claim that you are a fan of them.
No. At least I'm not a Rangers fan.
Where was that
coming from the neck?
Where was that
wow.
from? Whoa.
Who said that?
Stop. He's already dead.
I cried. I was laughing so hard.
So
Sophie, you have a vision. I love your vision, and I appreciate you. I think that's it for this mock draft. Next one will probably be in the form of a post. I will be getting drunk on draft night because for every post or for every pick I get wrong, I take a shot of old Jameson. So stay tuned for that. That will be a thing. I did it last year, and I was gonzo. So stay tuned for that.
Especially with you fucking up these edge rushers this year, man. I can't wait to see that.
I might not pick any edge rushers. I might not do it anymore.
To be safe.
Just to be safe. So stay tuned for that. I think that's it for this episode, Garrett. Anything else? Last remarks before I end this? Hurry.
Here.
Okay. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Check out the YouTube.